Dom, how are
Hey
you,
Mike,
buddy?
what's up?
Not too much. Getting ready for another YouTube. This is your pick.
This is my pick. Yeah,
And
so I gotta ask, like right away, just quick and dirty. What did you think? Did you like it? Enjoyable, fun?
um, I've got mixed feelings. I mostly liked it. I mostly liked it. I did have some. I just most of my issues with it, I think, were um, more about who the character was and things that maybe I didn't feel fit with. It's like if you're watching a vampire movie
Yeah.
and the vampire has all different rules than what the lore is. And I'm kind of a purist when it comes to, say, something like vampires or werewolves or whatever. I grew up with a certain mentality around them. And it's not that I never enjoy movies that take away or deviate from that. So, first of all, we can get fully into that, but
Yeah.
go ahead and give the intro. But yeah, I'll tell you right off from the start.
Okay,
I've got
so
some
this
complaints.
week's movie is
Yeah,
the 2015. It's usually classified as a horror comedy. He Never Died, starring Henry Rollins.
yeah,
Um, I mainly picked this because I just thought this movie was fun. I love the premise.
it is fun.
I thought it was carried out fairly well. I thought you would really like this movie.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did enjoy it. I have to
So
say, I enjoyed it.
in the movie, we follow the protagonist, Jack, played by Henry Rollins. Jack
Yeah,
lives a very solitary life. He's got like a small studio apartment where he mostly sleeps during the day. There is one diner he goes out to get food, and he plays bingo. So
yeah,
sleep, diner, bingo, pretty much his life.
yeah, yeah,
And then into his life come two elements. One is his estranged daughter, whom he never knew he had,
yeah.
who is interested in meeting her father, and he has absolutely no interest in anything at all.
Right. Yeah,
The other
yeah,
element that comes into his life is that we sort of already mentioned the V word. He lives on blood, among other things,
yeah,
but mainly blood, which he gets from an unscrupulous medical student. Having been a medical student, I'm still not sure how a medical student would get blood, but I guess if someone were paying me a lot of money, I would figure out a way.
yeah,
And that student, being unscrupulous, gets in trouble with the mob. And so when the mob messes with Jack's sole source of food, Jack gets involved,
yeah.
much to the mob's displeasure.
Right. So, yeah, it's a good action movie. It's got some good comedy. I definitely liked the
I
comedy.
would call it more of a horror action. I'd call it more of an action than anything.
Yeah, but there definitely is some humor. It's black
There's
humor,
definitely
but
some
it's
humor.
yeah,
There's
it's definitely
definitely,
black comedy.
I don't even know if I'd call many of the elements horror other than the supernatural nature of Jack.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, it's pretty funny when you watch a guy, the scene behind you and the scene behind me, pulling bullets out of his head.
I've
Um,
got a pair of pliers in my head.
yeah, and he's pulling them out so he doesn't get migraines, because he says if I don't pull them out, I'll get migraines.
So
Um,
unlike last week, we're going to live up to our spoiler alert
yeah, and
title.
just completely, for anyone that has not seen this movie, um,
This is not going to spoil it for you.
yeah, it's not, because if you're going to enjoy this movie, which I think you probably should, I think it's going to be enjoyable one way or another. Um, I'll get into some of my issues with it. First of all, I liked Henry Rollins in the role.
Henry Rollins was perfect in
Yeah,
this role. He was an ideal choice.
yeah, because one of the things about this, I mean, we've talked about wooden actors, and Keanu Reeves kind of fits into that kind of,
Hence John Wick.
yeah, yeah, which he pulls off really well because he is a kind of a wooden kind of a character. But he pulls off certain types of roles really well. Henry Rollins is very much the same. He's a very wooden actor that with his delivery, his dry, deadpan delivery, it's perfect for this role.
Hmm.
So I'll tell you some of the things that I just to get them out of the way uh, that bug me a little bit. So we find out fairly soon that he is supposed to be Cain from the Bible.
Yep, the original murderer.
The yes, the one that started it all, um, and um, and actually killed his brother. Um, there were things about this that I guess if you're talking about, and I'm not like some kind of a Bible thumping purist that I'm saying it's got to be exact, but if you know your Bible at least a little bit, um, the story of Cain and Abel, um, there were the two brothers, sons of Adam and Eve, original sons of Adam and Eve, and one was more of a farmer, the other was more of a hunter. Cain being the one that was more apt to bring an animal for a sacrifice. Um, Abel being the one that was going to raise produce and food and bring that as an offering to God. So every time that Cain brings an offering, God is thanking him, but he's not as pleased with what Abel brings. And this causes tremendous jealousy on the part of Cain to the point that Cain, in a fit of anger, slays his own brother um, and then decides to hide the body. And I'm going through this because this is the story. And when God is comes to Cain, he says, Cain, where is thy brother? And of course, he says, am I my brother's keeper? And he's just angry and he's asking, like, why are you asking me? And
Well,
that's when
because he's
God,
God. He freaking
he
knows.
knows already, but he wants him to admit it. And that what he really wanted out of Cain was he wanted remorse.
Yep.
And and that's what Cain didn't. That was the big sin of Cain was not only the crime of murder, but he also would not own up to it. He would not show repentance or sorrow, and instead he just says, you know, I know not. And God says, your brother's blood cries out from the ground to me, which to me was a very powerful statement. But but anyway, the long and the short of it is God banishes um, Cain, makes him a nomad, and he's he's doomed to wander the earth. There was nothing in there about eternal life. So, and apparently he's in this, he's got eternal, which I'm okay with. But it's a different take. And
It's not a unique take.
no, no,
I've seen that take of Kane's character a few times.
right. But it's definitely something different from what if you're looking at biblical.
Right,
There's
right.
there's there's nothing to say that Cain continued living. It was just that he was banished and ostracized. And what he when he
And no one was supposed to kill him. So
well, and that's another thing because there's a couple of other things here. One is the Cain didn't have wings, so
let me just get right
wait
out
a
in
minute.
front of this
No,
and
because
say
let me
this
just say
character is a hot mess.
right. The character is a hot mess, but the wing thing. Apparently, the wings. He's cut them off himself.
The
but
wings made no sense.
they made no sense. And that's what one of the things that bugged me. They show the scars that where he had wings on his back, and I thought, what's that about? So because when God does banish him and say that you're doomed to wander the wasteland and never be able to settle, he says the punishment's too great, and wherever I go, people are going to hate me and they're going to want to kill me. And God says, no, that's not going to happen. I put my mark on you. And so apparently this movie, the wings were supposedly the mark, but I guess, but it was never stated what the mark was. But I always felt that it was more a thing that anybody who encountered him would know that he was under God's protection and that nobody could harm Cain. So he did protect him as much as he punished him. He also protected him. There, I mean, there's people that say, "Oh, well, he was doomed, he was damned, and all that." And it's like, I don't know, people call out shit like that. I'm not sure that I would say he was damned.
Well, I mean, also equally as ridiculous is the drinking of blood and eating
Yeah.
human flesh. I mean, there
Well,
was
I didn't get
nothing.
that. I didn't get that at all. And apparently, it had to be an evil person too, because he was actually trying to get. That's actually one of the funny moments in the movie. He's walking around the street and he's actually trying to like provoke people to start something with him, so that
Well,
he
I
can
know, but
actually.
I mean, he killed his neighbor across the hall for playing music too loud. It does,
Yeah,
they don't need to be evil. I think he would prefer them to be evil.
yeah, yeah. So, like I said, it's there were things about it that I guess kind of bugged me a little bit.
Mhm.
But like I said, I wanted to get that out of the way because those were the things that bugged me. When you're talking about the movie, did I like this movie? I did, with some slight misgivings. I did, and was it enjoyable for me to watch this? Absolutely. So I won't get down to where the I am with thumbs up yet, but I definitely enjoy. I thought Henry Rollins was terrific. I don't even offhand know the other actors and actresses. I liked the waitress that was in the movie that
That was
wanted to
Kate
be his
Greenhouse.
girlfriend. I was a little bit upset when he didn't. I felt like he should have had his daughter. Apparently, um, she could see. Like I don't know who that person.
That there
Almost
is a bit of debate. Fans of this movie have a bit of debate around who the goateed man was.
right. I'm assuming it was Satan.
The two choices are either death or Satan.
Yeah, yeah, because like I thought, well, maybe it's death, maybe it's yeah, I mean,
I'm leaning towards Satan at this
I
point,
I
but
am
even I have
too.
gone back and forth.
I am too. And the people that like um when he is talking to this one guy and the guy obviously can see him and he makes some crack about the guy and he goes, you're gonna see him soon.
Hmm.
Uh, and I thought to myself, yeah, that's Satan because he's definitely gonna see him soon. Now the girl could see him, and I felt immediately when because she was good and she was a good character, and I felt like she's got the DNA of Cain in her, and
Hmm.
so she I thought it was kind of a cool little take on it, and I would have liked to have seen more interaction with him and her. I mean,
Hmm.
you could have had a sequel, and I would have
Well,
loved to have seen a
and
sequel.
that's a whole nother story that I have to
Oh,
talk about.
okay, but it would have been great to have her and him in a sequel.
Hmm.
And turns out that she has the same like recuperative powers and things like that. That would have been a cool take. I would have loved to have seen, and I also would have liked, it's one thing to have him as this character who's unfeeling and uncaring, but you could tell he actually did have, he had loyalties and he did have, relationships and things like that. I think he actually did. He saved his daughter ultimately, and he cared
Well,
enough.
ultimately, after days, like I can't even
Yeah,
believe she was still alive.
I know, and she suffered some pretty bad beatings and
Oh, she got
whatnot.
the
So
crap kicked out of her.
yeah, now these two guys were hysterical.
Oh, they were awesome.
These two bad guys, different things that really made the movie for me. These two guys were funny. They were funny, but they were almost like Lenny and Squiggy. It was, it was. I mean, they're not quite on that level. They're a lot meaner, crueler than Lenny and Squiggy, but they had characteristics of comedy that was like that. I mean, they just didn't learn. They dealt with this guy, and every time it's like you don't take any sense of what happened to you last time. He almost
Well,
killed you the last time.
they somewhat learned in the diner that guy shoots him in the head, and the gangster goes, "What did I tell you?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. However, you know something. Good luck. Sorry, my throat's dry. Good luck trying to tell somebody though. Oh, you can shoot this guy in the head and it's not even going to hurt him.
Right, right.
Who's going to believe you? So yeah, there is that part of it. But yeah, I would have maybe taken it a little more seriously. Um, I truly did like a lot of things. I hated some of the scenes of him like, and the movie Kronos
Yep.
where the guy has the nosebleed in the bathroom, and
Hmm.
then the Kronos vampire character actually goes over and he's like looking it up, and I'm thinking, that was just so gross to
There
me.
are some cringeworthy scenes.
And this is one of the cringeworthy scenes that's behind me where he spills all the blood. And I thought, after that many years, wouldn't you be a little more careful with those bags?
You would think. You would
you
think.
know,
I got to tell you, one of my favorite lines in the movie is when she's asking about how old he is.
yeah.
He's like, "Well, I'm in the Bible, if that means anything to you."
Yeah, yeah, that was actually a really funny, great line because I mean,
His deadpan delivery
yes,
made this movie.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he was basically saying, "I'm in Genesis." It doesn't get any earlier in the Bible than that, It's so yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Um, he was a terrific character.
Mhm.
Um, so now, when you say, "What did you think of the movie?" I really liked the movie. I
Yeah,
really did.
I thought again, it's kind of a mess of a movie.
Yeah,
This
it's a
is
little.
I consider this less of a complete movie and more of a proof of concept.
Yeah, yeah,
I get the feeling that they really wanted to do more. And in
yeah.
fact, from what I've heard, they had sequels planned. They were talking about a mini series.
That would have actually probably been a pretty cool TV series. Yeah,
And so I have a feeling they made this movie just as a proof of concept to
yeah,
market to studios to get funding for more. So I think things more was planned.
yeah.
It's always been considered, but for some reason or other, it just all fell through.
Well, and it's sad because I actually really could see this as a TV series for one thing,
Right.
and
There's
then
some rich lore to mine.
yeah, and then the other thing is I definitely could have seen a sequel with him and the daughter. um, with and maybe even bring the waitress in. I mean, she was pretty horrified by him by
Pretty
the end of the movie.
horrifying.
So, so yeah, that might have been a hard sell for her. But although she didn't mind taking that money, which
Oh no, I mean life-changing money.
I would have taken it. I mean, my God, he offering her $1 million. So, and I think she ended up getting more than that. But I mean, there was one point there where she's really horrified about everything going on, and it's like, hey, suck it up, Buttercup. I mean, um, he's definitely helping you out here. I mean, she was going on and on about her because when he was that was another funny scene. She was asking him because she's trying to develop a relationship, and she's like, so like, what do you do for a living? Well, I was yeah. He go, goes on. He starts reciting
I was
professions.
a farmer
I
and
was
a
a
soldier.
yeah. I was a blacksmith. I was for a
I
while
was a
there. I was
tinsmith.
yeah. I mean,
I
it's
dealt in antiques for a while.
yeah, yeah. He went on and on and on. It was like, but and to the point where anyone would have been like, "Wow, this guy's a big liar." But sure enough, that's he. I'm sure he's got a lot of life skills, but he
So,
certainly knows
so
how
I
to
got to
take
tell
bullets out
you,
of his. What's that?
not many people know this, but
Yeah.
there was a sequel.
Oh, what was there? I thought I saw something that said part two, but is that from the sequel?
So, sequel.
Yeah.
This is from the movie She Never Died.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically a reimagining of the exact same movie, but with a female protagonist.
Okay. Not sure I think that's necessarily a good
It was
idea,
nowhere
but
near as good.
yeah.
I
But
feel bad because I think she was a phenomenal actress,
yeah, no, I haven't seen
but
it, so I couldn't say,
the
but
movie just fell. She did not have it did not have the comedic chops. It was kind of just
yeah.
a serious movie, which it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, um a big part of why this does work is is the comedy. It's the dry black comedy that it on the one hand there's like violence, there's killing, there's all kinds of crazy stuff, but none of it is something that like feels over the top bad because it is so darn funny in different
He's
places.
just so terminally bored
Well, when the
with
daughter
the whole
comes,
thing.
yeah, yeah, he's just like he's kind of well, and think about it. If you lived since the beginning of time, I mean, obviously,
And you've killed literally thousands.
yes. Yeah, so
Literally.
so I mean, where would your emotions be in this? So yeah, I get it. I get, but like his daughter comes on the scene and she's like, "Well, can I stay here?" And he's like, "How long?" "A couple of days, I guess." And then he doesn't even like try to make up a proper bed for her. She's having to sleep in the chair, which I was like, dude, really? I mean, I would have given up my bed if it was, my
Yeah, but I mean,
again,
he doesn't even want her there. He
no,
realizes she's going to leave in 2 days, and he is never going to see her again.
yeah,
She's going to be such an ephemeral part of his life.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and that,
she's asking him questions. What do you want to do? Where'd you go? Out.
yeah, oh yeah,
What do
yeah,
you want
no,
to do? You're looking at
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. No, he was. I love though that they started going to bingo together. I thought that was hysterical. I loved how they were starting to, and partly just because, I mean, he's stamping her bingo card for her. How cute is that? you know, but
Well, she was adorable. They chose one of the cutest actresses they could
yeah,
have.
yeah, she was just really sweet, and which is another reason why I felt like, man, protect your kid there. So I get it. I get it. He doesn't have a whole lot of thing going on there with feelings. He's not exactly in touch with his feelings. He's not emo in the least. so, but but no, I felt like there was some growth there with, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more with that. So that part kind of disappointed me a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
my one complaint about this movie is this was bare bones. There were no surprises, there were no curves.
Yeah.
There was very little nuance. Again, I
No.
don't think it's almost not a complete movie. It's almost like this the writer, the director was saying, look at this idea we have.
Yeah. And what can we do with this?
Right.
Um, so yeah, I definitely think there's a chunk of that going on. And again, that's another thing. She said because he was playing one card when they first started playing bingo together, and after she had left, or actually probably after she'd been kidnapped, he goes to the church to play bingo, and he's got about 10 cards on the table. And that's another thing. I have played bingo. I actually enjoy it. I actually like bingo. I never thought I would, but I remember liking it as a kid. But it was, to me, it was a kid's game, and playing it later. I played it with your mom. I took your mom a couple of years in a row, probably for her birthday, uh, and we really maxed out how many cards we had. So, but I am terrible at keeping up with cards. I have to really work at it. And I remember looking around, thinking to myself, how are these old people playing all these cards and keeping up with it? It's like, they claim they're old, but it's like if you can play that many cards, uh, geez, I don't know how they keep up with it, but they do, and they're very very competitive. So, but anyway, yeah, like I said, I thought it was hysterical when he is going on his own again after playing with her, and her saying, "You'd think you'd play more cards like they do." Uh, the next thing you know, he's got about 10 cards on the table. So that part was fun. And again, like I said, that was some of the elements that I thought this is actually kind of cute that she's changing him and that he's developing a relationship with her. I wanted to see more of that. Um,
This
and
movie reminded me a lot of the movie Nobody.
yeah, yeah,
So here's this main character that is your ultimate killing machine.
yep,
Like someone that makes Rambo look like a preschooler.
yeah,
And yet they're incredibly unassuming. They don't front, they don't pose.
no,
They just want to be left alone.
yeah, no, he's not walking around trying to show that he's a badass at all. He's doing everything he can to not um, cause attention and any kind of look his way where he will be noticed. He's got to keep under the the cover there a little bit, and he does a good job of that until he gets implicated with just because of this intern, I guess, that he's paying to get him blood. So yeah, well, there's always, like when you watch vampire stories, there's always some person that works in a hospital that's apparently has good access to blood. but but yeah,
I don't think anyone truly knows how protected like the blood source is.
I
Blood
would
is
think
not
so. Yeah,
it's not easy to come by. It's
yeah,
an extraordinarily valuable resource.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think if pints of blood go missing, I would think that there'd be investigation going starting. It's like, why are we? Why is every week we seem to be losing two or three pints of blood here? It's like somebody's going to start noticing after a while. But but no, I um, I would have loved to have seen more done with this movie,
Oh,
and
totally.
I think that's part of what my disappointment came with this is that I was
It's criminal that
yeah
they left it at this.
yeah yeah it should have had there should have been so much more.
And
And
they've been talking about a sequel for years.
yeah,
Like they're all primed for it, and they just can't, for some reason,
well,
get it to go through.
and the problem is now, I mean, I don't know what Henry Rollins looks like, but he's too old. They're gonna have to get another actor, I think.
I don't know. Look at how long they kept Bruce Willis in.
That's true, but my God, that was abuse.
That was
Um,
abuse.
that was definitely abuse. I mean, the fact that Bruce, they knew he had a condition. He knew he had a condition, and the fact that they had him turning out so many movies, it wasn't even funny. And the quality, the fans were noticing the quality of the movies was going down.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, this was a guy that was capable of turning out really quality movies, and you just all of a sudden you have to look and think, well, is this one any good? Because none of these other ones were. And it just got to the point where he was writing, he was just getting checks. Somebody was just writing him checks. So that was sad. And to see him go out that way, after so many good movies. But yeah, like I said, I suppose I don't know what kind of condition or even what age Henry Rollins is now, but he can't be young. He's got to be up in his 60s, maybe.
Let's see. Well, it's easy enough to find out. 64.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, he might be in much better shape than I am, but he's 2 years younger than I am. So I don't know. But I mean, when he made this one, he was in pretty good physical condition. But yeah, it
I
would
mean,
be
he's always been in good physical condition.
true. I mean, maybe they need to have another younger actor with a different actress for the daughter. And yeah, that was back in the old singing days there.
Yeah, it's back in like it's got to be like in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he was a monster back then. Um, but
It's funny how many jobs this guy has had. He's been in a band, he's done spoken word. He was in, he was like the host of the Twilight Zone for a while, or some Twilight Zone like
huh,
show.
yeah, didn't even realize that part. But
He's been a writer. He's done a ton of stuff.
oh yeah, yeah. But plus he's been in a few movies. I mean, he's had his share of movies. So no, he's been around, and I think I like when you see him like doing a cameo in a movie.
Hmm.
He's been in some parts that he pulled off pretty well. So and I truly think he fit this role. Um,
I've got an interview. I'm gonna put a link to the interview in our movie description when we post this video. But in the interview, he's talking about getting the script for the movie and thinking, this guy is terminally bored, annoyed with everyone, and just doesn't want to bother with anyone. I
right.
can do this role.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I can get into this mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this was another scene that I thought was funny behind me. He carries his daughter out of the place, and the waitress who has been driving him around, he brings her over, and he just basically here, and you can see like she takes her in her arms, but you can see like she's barely able to, it's I mean the daughter is probably 5'5", 5'6", and
Now,
she
the
wasn't.
daughter is maybe 100 pounds.
Yeah, but still, I mean, for another female that's probably the same height and wasn't overly muscular or something like
I don't
that.
know. She's a waitress. It's not like
Yeah,
she does not do physical
yeah.
labor.
I mean, trays can be heavy, but they're not, usually 100
They're
pounds
not
or
dead
more.
weight of a human body.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a person's body, is dead weight. It's especially when they're passed out like the daughter was.
Right, right, right. It's not just weight, it's more.
But you can see she like manages to hold her, but she's like, oh my God, like, and he's like, just get her to the hospital.
Those two, the Rollins and the waitress and Kara, uh, they had great chemistry.
They did, they absolutely did, and that's another thing that about this movie that when you asked me whether what I thought, um, it's a movie that, because it has some flaws, I felt like whenever I watch a movie that's like that, I feel the need to get that out of the way first. Because
Mhm.
if I just say, "Oh, I love the movie," then to me, I'm being insincere. I'm being, I'm not being, I'm not, it's not full revelation. Because I did have some problems with it. But getting beyond what those problems were, what is not enough to make me say I did not like the movie. I liked the movie a lot. I actually really truly enjoyed it. It's quite a that was the scene behind you. That is one of the funnier scenes. That's the scene where he starts listing off his jobs that he's done. It's like, good
Yeah,
God.
because she asked like, "Were you a boxer?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah, I was, and I was a horse trainer."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and then he's like, "And you?" And she was like,
I
"Well,
was in prison a lot.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that was funny too when you said, yeah, he was in prison." She actually pretty much overlooked that part. She was just like, "Yeah, okay."
The funniest line between these two, in my mind, is like near the end of the movie where like he's asking her for a ride, and
Yeah.
she's like, "I'm probably just gonna bring you somewhere where you're just gonna kill a bunch of people." Really? Seriously? He's like, probably.
Yeah, 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 exactly. No, that's exactly what ends up happening is he goes into the, and that was another thing, that the gangster dude that was, and apparently he had worked for the guy's father. Um, you'd think he would have known better than
Oh,
just,
you totally
that,
like that's another thing I couldn't get over. I'm like,
yeah,
it's not like you don't know this guy. Like he picks him up, he's like, "Oh, that's right, you're strong."
yeah, yeah. It's like, you're remembering this now. It's like, there's people that um, what's that line in Gran Torino, where I'm pretty sure that's the movie, where Clint Eastwood says to the guy, "You ever meet somebody you think to yourself you shouldn't know how to fuck with them," and which is, hopefully, is not verbatim, but that's the quote. But that's extremely true with this guy. If
Mhm.
you've had any kind of involvement or dealings, and obviously they did, because he worked for the father, and obviously he did some things for the father, that you would know this guy is a complete and utter badass.
Yeah,
Um,
why if you've ever met this guy and lived, why
yeah,
would you ever want to meet
yeah,
him again?
yes, because he's absolutely like, almost a superhero.
Oh no, yeah.
He's If you didn't fully understand it, that the guy was immoral, um, which I don't believe Kane was ever conceived as being immortal, or as having wings, or the
Or
need for,
vampire. Yeah,
yeah, the
I get
blood
it.
thing. So those are my flaws. Those are my problems with the movie. However, um, I like the fact that he would heal. I like the fact that, so just saying those things, those are the problems I have with it. However, they weren't enough to take away from my true liking for this movie.
Oh
So
yeah, and again, I didn't choose this because it's a great movie or a perfect movie or anything like that.
yeah,
It's just again, it checks all my boxes. It
yeah,
was made on a bare bones budget.
yep,
It's an extremely simple movie, but it was done really well. I thought it was a lot of fun. You
yeah,
want more,
yeah, yeah.
and and
I
I
think
don't
that
hear
was,
anyone talking about it.
yeah, I think that was one of my problems, was because I didn't know this movie until you brought it up. I didn't
No
know
one
it.
knows this movie.
Yeah, it's I mean, I might have seen a trailer at some point. I don't know. I went into it pretty much, it was a clean slate. I didn't know much about it.
That's what
And
my I'm so happy I chose this mainly for you. I'm like,
well,
okay,
thank you.
Mike's gonna love
Yeah.
this movie.
Well, and you were right too, because it's a movie that I would like, and I did like it. I liked so much about it. I liked the fact that it had it was from the time you got it kind of just threw you right into the plot.
Yes.
You just just dumps you in, and you never there's no slow moments. That's for sure. It carries you right along, um, and you're absolutely right. You want more. The sad part about this is I don't see that there's any more.
No, no,
Uh,
and there it had a cult following. It still has a cult following that
it
is
should.
constantly
It should.
crying out for
Yeah.
a sequel, for something more.
Yeah.
You're right. It's been so long. It's been 10 years now.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the project's dead, which is really sad.
Yeah. It is. It is sad. I don't know whether they could bring it together with. To me, it seems like they need. Um, they need a new Kane. They
Hmm.
need a new daughter. I think the daughter really should be included. I'd love to see that he's realized that the daughter has powers like he does, just
Hmm.
because she's I think over the years it's pretty obvious he's had relationships, but they've all been
Not many, though. How
no.
long
I
has
think
it
that
been since you've been with someone? How old are you? 19?
yeah,
19 years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, just the lines he delivered were hilarious.
Well, and the other thing is, I don't think he ever wanted at all. I think he's probably over the years he's done everything he could so that he didn't have offspring.
I'm sure.
And we don't know from if you're looking at Cain as a biblical character, we don't know whether Cain actually, the real life Cain, would have actually fathered more children. However, and supposedly, I think there is a line about um, that the curse of the curse of the father. Well, I mean, that is definitely a line in the Bible, but it's about the curse of the father doesn't come on the son or sons or daughters or whatever. but but I mean, we I don't know what the history of Cain was supposed to be as far as
Yeah, I'm not that
descendant.
much of a biblical scholar. I
No,
didn't know you
I'm
did that
not
much
either. I mean,
research.
it's been a long time since Catholic school when I was getting, and I read the Bible, but but anyway, getting back to this, as far as the daughter goes, I would think it would be a really cool thing to make an entirely new movie with as a sequel with a new Cain and his
With a new
daughter.
cast entirely.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but you're right. I mean, even now, even after all this time, I would love to see more of this.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And again, it's a shame that you we didn't get a chance to see these because the chemistry. You're totally right. The chemistry between him and the waitress and him and the daughter were perfect.
Spot
And
on.
so to have a sequel with those two in it and continuing on with maybe them in a totally different place, different scenery, and new stuff happening. But
I still, I mean, I haven't seen Rollins lately.
yeah,
I believe he could still do it.
yeah, yeah, he's probably somebody. I mean, his whole life he's kept himself in pretty good shape. Even
And
in this, I mean,
he's really the only one in question. The daughter and the waitress,
yeah,
you know, if they were up for it, I'm sure they would be able to fit into those roles still.
yeah, but I'd love to see them back with him again because again, um, that both of them worked really well with him. They were able to play off of his that deadpan quality that he has, the way he delivers lines. I thought, man, because it's not easy. It's not easy when you've got a character, and yeah, there were times where he's exhibiting rage and he's growling as he's eating flesh and things like that. But overall, he walks around kind of in just, he's like Bob
His,
Newhart.
his role in this movie is to
Yeah.
be as emotionless as possible.
And damned if he doesn't pull it off. I
He
mean,
he really does.
and yes, it's some of it is Henry Rollins himself because he's great at that. That's what he does. But he managed to give off the right nuances of emotions when he needed
Mhm.
it. And that is why it works, because you actually can see certain amounts of there's emotional scenes, things like that. He's doing his best to pull it back and not show it. But yeah, I love like this scene here. This scene here
Can you
was
not
just,
look at me?
yeah, she is like completely overwhelmed by what's going on. I mean, and can you just imagine you're sitting in a car watching somebody taking needle nose pliers and pulling rounds out of his head and dropping them in a cup. It's like and
Well, but I mean, like she was in the diner. She just saw her boss shot and
yeah,
killed.
yeah,
He went into the bathroom. A guy followed him. He walks out alone with an ice
yeah,
pick in his back that he
yeah,
thinks
yeah,
nothing of.
yeah. And she's like, "You're back," and he goes, "Oh yeah." He just pulls it out.
She sees him get shot in the head. He asks her to drive him and then says, wait, goes back in, throws a guy in her trunk. I mean, there was a lot to take
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's dealing with all of that stuff. Plus he wants her to take him to some place where he can do more mayhem.
And you know what I can't help compare this film to is Man on Earth.
Well, actually that I actually thought that myself when I was watching it because I was thinking to myself, yeah, this is one of those Dom movies where
Exactly.
he picks a movie like this. It was yeah, there is a lot of that, and you're absolutely right. Because I was thinking of that when I was watching it. um, I as I started to see the character and realize what was going on, I was thinking to myself, I don't know whether I'm going to actually like this or whether it's going to work. And I was pleasantly surprised because I started out with some of the usual problems with you start, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what exactly is he supposed to be? It's pretty. They don't hide the fact that he's Kane. They don't hide the fact, but they added these things that made me, I was like, I had to think about whether or not I was accepting it. And ultimately, in the end, I felt like I like this character. I like how Henry Rollins is pulling the character off. And I love the people that were surrounding him in this. Um, they actually created on a budget. They created a pretty solid cast. The two gangsters that I mentioned before that I really thought were these guys were great. Um, those two guys were terrific. Both the waitress and the daughter really made this movie work, and they backed him up just the way he needed. Good direction all around.
Yeah,
Um,
I think this was a really tight movie.
yeah, the lighting, just the way this is lit. It's got almost a noir kind of a feel to it. Um, it just worked for me in a lot of ways. So whatever I threw out there with my criticisms, I I truly enjoyed the movie.
I got to tell you something neat. So when I first saw this is one of the movies that, in my history, I just stumbled across.
Yeah.
I first saw this on YouTube for free.
Okay.
And I'm willing to bet that there's a version still out there. But the thing is, I have a feeling that this movie didn't initially do as well as someone hoped. And as a response, they threw it onto YouTube for free to give it exposure.
Yeah.
That sort of worked, but it was a pre-production or
Oh wow,
uh,
really?
type of version
Yeah.
because when I watched this on Vudu,
Yeah.
it was a lot more developed. Like the sound was better. There was different soundtracks to it.
Yeah.
It was it was a much better movie than I'd even originally saw
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
because I
Well,
saw an even more bare bones version of this.
well, and I'm also that was one of the things I was going to ask you, um, was because when you mentioned this movie last week and said, "Hey, I want to do He Never Died," I was like, "Okay, yep, I got to figure out where I can see it." And you were like, "You have it on Vudu." Now, did you suggest that, or
Yes,
did I? Okay,
it
so
was
that
one of
was
the movies that it was on
yeah,
my wish list that I sent to
sure.
you.
And like I said, this is one because when you look at movies and you think to yourself, what and I don't know, I one of my probably one of my problems with a lot of people that even call themselves movie fans, they'll watch a movie and they never want to revisit the movie again. And there are some movies, I have to admit, there are some movies it's like I liked it, but will I watch it again?
Right. There's no need
Um,
to see this movie again.
yeah. And usually if I have to think that, usually it's not going to be something that I'm going to go to unless somebody that I know maybe wants to see it. And I'll say,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll sit down and watch it with you. But am I going to voluntarily just say, oh, I want to see that again? Like a movie like The Thing or this one. Um, but, you know, most movies I will revisit if I liked it. But there are ones, I think we mentioned this. Schindler's List is, I love the movie. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful movie. It's a very moving, but the movie really broke me apart watching the movie. And when you come to the end of Schindler's List, it's overwhelming the emotions that you feel. And it's like, do I want to subject myself to Schindler's List again? I would do it if somebody that I knew had never seen it and was curious, wanted to see it. Then I'd say, "Oh, you really should see the movie." And I'd have to warn them. It's a very powerful movie. It's a very heavy movie. But I would watch it um, with them. But that's probably the only way you're going to get me to watch Schindler's List again because it's very, very heavy.
Mhm.
And so I think that's one of the categories. If I like a movie, but it's something that impacts me in a enough of a way that do I want to go through that again? It's like going to, it's like going through some like a death in the family or something when it's that heavy. So that's the problem. So a movie like this, I would watch this one in a heartbeat again.
This to me, this movie is just so much fun, and we're kind of coming to the end, so I'm going to say it's my pick. Two
Yep.
thumbs up. I would watch this movie again in a heartbeat. I think
Yep.
this is just a fun
And
ride.
and I don't think there's any hesitation on my part to say two thumbs up. I truly enjoyed it. Um, I listed the little flaws that are there. They are not enough to make me back away from this or to tell anybody who has not seen this movie yet, see the movie. It's a good movie. You'll enjoy it. It's not a comedy in the sense of you're not going to sit there going ha ha ha. It's not that, but you're going to
Yeah,
have
it's more
chuckles.
action than anything.
It is, but you're going to have chuckles throughout this movie. He
It's
makes
got humor.
he makes you laugh, and I mean that's one of the things that sells the movie.
He
Is
makes this character great, and yes,
yes, yeah. In fact, if they ever make a sequel or another one, they are going to have to search very carefully to get someone of his caliber to do
yep.
it because he was the perfect Kane. And the people around him, man, it was a lot of low key performances. Great movie,
Mhm.
great cast, and it worked. So yeah, Dom, very solid pick.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
been wanting to pick the again. I've been wanting to show you this movie for a while now.
yeah, and honestly, I'm truly glad you did. Uh, it was a good pick for you know, I mean, the fact that I got exposed to this, I'm pretty happy. I'm
I
glad I.
just can't believe how few people know about this movie.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. I mean, what you and I both talk about this a lot. It's one of the things in doing this whole channel that we do. We're both movie fans, and we like. First of all, you and I both pretty close in age. Dom definitely younger than I am, but I mean, we kind of grew up together, more like brothers than we were uncle and nephew.
Yep.
And as far as like watching, we shared a huge love for movie watching growing up. We saw so many cool movies together at a and that was another thing. We were blessed in the time that we grew up because not only were we exposed to older film with the way television was and everything. But also, we grew up, we saw all those 80s movies, all those 90s movies that were terrific films. And so I think plus drive ins were still a thing. It was just a fun time to experience movies. And that's one of the things with this is being able to expose other people, and you did a good pick here because this is exposing people to a movie that maybe they wouldn't otherwise see. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it fully. And I know Dom does. Dom was the one that picked it.
Yep. Yep.
If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it, would love to hear your comments about it. Like, what you thought about what we've said about it, and and if you're ones that are of the mindset that like, hey, let's let's see a sequel, then hey,
I will
maybe
I will
make the
try to
kind of
remember
decision.
to put a link to this movie on YouTube from YouTube, just
Yeah.
so there's a low bar that if you want to see it, you can easily see it. But that being said, your pick next.
Yes. And actually, one of the aspects of my picks lately has been, I Black Noon was a was a suggestion from a watcher. They put it in the comments. And so that was my pick last time. And I am picking another movie, and I have not seen this movie, but this was a pick. A friend of ours, a mutual friend, as they say in the mob scene, a friend of ours, um, Boz, actually put this in the comments about a movie that he would like to see us do. And I saw the trailer only, and it's a movie that's actually a more recent movie. It's called Explorer from Another World.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I have not, I haven't even heard of it.
I believe it's 2022, 24, maybe. I think it's 2022, but it's pretty new. Um, I only know of a couple of places offhand. It's definitely can be seen on, if you have Prime, Amazon Prime, it's on that. You can see it on Plex for free. Couple of other places, but that is my pick, is which is actually a subscribers pick. But so that's I've never seen it myself. It looks like it's fun. Um, it's I wouldn't call it. It's kind of like a little bit of comedy horror sci-fi. So
It's
yeah,
got everything.
yes, it's got everything. And I think it's also, we are actually, this is the end of the month, this is the end of August, and we are coming into September. It's not quite October for Halloween, but we are close now. So I am definitely going to start picking some more scary horror movies. So for my picks, when I pick, and this one I think comfortably fits into that category because it's sci-fi. There's some there's definitely a horror aspect. So yeah, we'll see what everybody thinks of this. So
Explore from another world.
yes, that's the
Okay.
movie. So yep, look it up, check it out, and we'll catch that one for next week. And having said all that, I think um, we could probably say so this is a wrap. But
It's a
hey,
wrap.
thank you everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, pass it on to other people. Check out all of our content.
Send us
We,
candy.
yeah, absolutely. Gifts. uh, we get sponsors. Throw some sponsorship our way.
Yeah, no
Uh,
one's going to talk you up like we will.
no, no, and no one likes Diet Coke better than I do. So, Coke, if you're listening. So, but yep. Having said all that, we'll call it a wrap. I think, Dom. Um,
Yep, sounds good.
all right. I will see you again next week, and it's been fun. And having said that, adieu.
Yeah, next week, another movie. Take it
All right.
easy.
Take care.